You know, there's a lot of great OU podcasts, but there's only one where the horns are always down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Horns Down Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Horns Down Podcast. If you would be so kind, go ahead and give us a like. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and follow on Twitter, wherever you get all your podcasts, all that stuff or whatnot. Jay will be in here shortly. I thought, you know what, we're in here for a good time, not a long time tonight, because obviously we got the big trash talk matchup, the long anticipated third annual trash talk contest against those boys, Nick and Steven, the Texas guys, Nino's perspective and Nino's corner and Fanatic perspective. But with that being said, before we jump into all of that or whatnot, we got to talk about Texas. We got to give our thoughts or whatnot. Let's wait until Jay. I got a word from Jay. Jay's going to be here in a second, but go ahead in the comments if you got anything that you want to just ask real quick. What's going on? What's your prediction? Matter of fact, here comes Jay right here.
Jay got new logos and everything. Look at that.
Hey man, look, you know, we trying to get there. We try to be like you. You know what I'm saying? We trying to be, you know, we trying to rise up. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to up the game, huh? Up in the game. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah. Channel's doing nice. We're doing things. We're getting it going. That's all I can ask for. But with that being said, Jay, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're here for a good time, not a long time. What do you respect the most about this Texas team? And I'm not talking about Sark's angle, Sark's this. I don't care about all the off the field coach talk. I'm talking about specifically, what is it that you say, hey, look, they have an advantage here. We need to account for that.
First off, James, I ain't put on no eyeliner. I put on a shirt. Just got back from the gym. I say that defense, man, mainly the defensive line, Sweat, that dude's a monster. I think that that's probably the thing that they've got going for themselves. They've been doing a really good job of, you know, creating pressure and causing issues and wreaking havoc on people. But it's funny, not one spot besides their skill spots at wide receiver have they just been overly dominant. But besides that, the defensive line is it, man. They got a really good defensive line. That's the team that probably makes me the most nervous about that. You got to scheme for them a lot to make sure that they don't that you don't allow them to be too disruptive. You got to be prepared to get rid of that ball quick. Now the good thing is Sweat's like 360.
Yeah.
So he's hard to really scheme for. But at the same time, the good thing is that he'll probably tire as we get that tempo going. So most important thing for us is keeping the tempo going.
So I'm going to say this right here about the interior. I've been hearing a lot about the interior guys or whatnot. I saw them last year. Both games against Bama, they played really well. They played great last year. They played great this year. But at the same time, everybody on Texas plays down to their competition. My only thing, the reason why I give that some credence and I say, hey, Jay, you know what? You ain't lying. It's simply because of this right here. Andrew Rain against lesser talent, amazing. Andrew Rain against average talent, okay. It's a little bit between good and great. It just goes because he's that inconsistent. Him against a hard-nosed, athletic nose tackle, D lineman that's ready to get after him, push him, and all the rest of that, he tends to struggle. But being that he's in the second year of a Schmitty program, I have seen some promise for him. You've seen a lot more good than bad this year. And let's be real, with Corleone and all those guys up there at Cincinnati, I don't care what Texas fans have to say. This offensive line held their own. And the thing about it is,
a beast too.
Yeah,
and Juwan Briggs a beast.
Just like they have guys in the interior that they feel that will mix it up, so do we. We feel that Everett, we feel that Bird, Matuire from time to time. He's not the physical guard that I wish that he could be. You need a mauler next to Rain, somebody who's going to make him look good. And we talked about that, Jay. So I get that. For me, what I would say, I would respect the scheme for the wide receivers, the schematics that they have. If you're going to go zone, are you going to cover in the middle? If you go man, are you going to bite on this RPO that they've been running a lot of? I think this is a game where you can easily see Sark put on film what he's famous for, at least in these last 4 or 5 years. I think he goes back to, I like to call it that Alabama spread, right? I don't think he's going to go out there with 4 wide receivers like they did, because, I mean, come on, man. Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, Waddle, Michi, or whatever you want to say. I mean, come on, man. First-round talent all over the field. Now, I'm not going to sit here and downgrade or disrespect them at the skill position, because I think they're talented at the skill position, but I don't necessarily see him running out there with 3 or 4 wide receivers, and that's just me. I think there are tackles on the offensive line. I think there are holes in the offensive line. There's more holes than what they think than what they actually have. But, yeah, man, I mean, I would say this is a really good Texas team. I'll give them that at the end of the day. And I'm not going to sit there and disrespect it, but I feel very confident going into this matchup. Not like last year, not like the year before with inflated confidence, because I know what we were facing last year as far as just ourselves with the lack of, here you go, competitive depth. And then I don't know. This year just feels a little bit different, man.
Yeah, this entire team feels like it's a completely different animal in comparison to what we've had in the last few years. We've got a potent offense, with the offense is scoring. And our defense is actually showing up in the first few games. Now, it's funny because with all everybody keeps saying we ain't playing nobody. Cool. But the teams we played, guess what we did? Something we ain't done before. Something we ain't done in a very long time.
Yeah.
Right? We're actually dominating teams that are placed in front of us. We're beating the teams that are placed in front of us. And so for me, the one thing I want to see is make sure that we get out there and we not only confuse that defense for Texas, but we just execute on the offensive side like we've been doing. And I feel like we're at that point that we're just going to continue to execute. I mean, everybody thinks PK is, just going to do so much to Levy and them, and it ain't. That's what I like, is that we are at that point. And the beauty of it is that, and I like what Greenwood envy in his statement of last year. This year we got depth. We're rotating in like 10 different dudes on the defensive line, and they're all actually competing. We're not tired. We're not limited on players. We got size. We've got, 5 to 6 300-pounders that can play, that are actually rotating in and out, and something that we haven't had before. That, to me, is the most important thing. Yeah. We got that.
Yeah. Let's go to some of the comments real quick. We got Green with envy. Art Browse Jr. calling play calling won't cut it against PK. Oh, he's from last night. Hey, man, go ahead, give us a like, man. Go ahead, give us subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to Unfair Sports. Texas fans, look, if y'all want real content, come on over, man. You know what I'm saying? Come to OVO where all your dreams will get made. Anyways, back to the subject. So, yeah, no, Jay, look, I agree with you. I agree with the things that you were saying last night. I know it got a little bit heated in there. I want you to know, Jay, you make logical sense. Jay, I'm gonna give you some flowers real quick, simply because you want to slowly but surely become one of the best of the biz. Just want you to know that, okay? But Jay, I'm just gonna venture off a little bit. I'm gonna tell you, when we go over there to that channel tonight, if you're gonna be on there with us, hey, you gotta take the gloves off.
Lose my mind.
Man.
I understand.
You gotta take the gloves off, man.
I understand.
Hey, you
I
gotta
get you. I'm gonna do it.
Hey,
I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna clean.
Hey, you remember when the Warriors came outside and everybody showed up? Hey, it's one of them nights, man. But anyways, go to a comment up here. Let's see who said that. Somebody said it. Let's see. I think it was it was Stephen G. Gentry and Woody, I feel, shut them down. I feel really good about Gentry. I told my uncle the other day, I said, hey man, to be honest with you, if I'm running a defense, I think I'm gonna have Gentry follow Worthy. And the reason why I say that is because I think, one, he's fast enough not only to stay with him, but two, I think he's also skilled and disciplined enough to be able to figure it out on the fly.
And I love what Steven just said on here too. That Wildcat actually moved the ball on Texas. It's kind of bad.
Yeah, the Wildcat formation, it wasn't like we weren't able to move the ball. It was just the fact that when we got in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, Belleville couldn't make the simple out route or the simple slant pattern. He couldn't throw either one of those. And then also you sitting there having your best player arguably on the team last year and Eric Gray throwing jump passes out of out of the Wildcat. And then also you're sitting there moving the ball on those short yardage plays with Braden Willis. Everybody knows that you're going to run it and then you stop. You get what I'm saying? So when we were able to get down to the 20-yard line, the 10-yard line, we just weren't able to capitalize. We were in plus territory an awful lot just running the Wildcat last year, and we weren't able to capitalize. The biggest thing that you have to do, it's about starting fast, but it's about keep stringing drives together, touchdowns. We need touchdowns rather than field goals, but it'll be great to get both of those. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I truly think that this is going to be more of a defensive battle than people want to admit to it. I really think it's going to be a meticulous, surgical battle between these two, between PK and BV. That's really what it's going to be about. It's going to be about defense. And we got to, as long as we are buckled down on what we're supposed to do defensively, we'll slow that run down. We won't stop it. We'll slow it down.
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, we have some opportunities, and Steven mentioned it here. We got opportunities. I mean, that Watts, if they play Watts, he's going to be lunch meat. Barbecue chicken. They're going to be going after him like crazy. And, I mean, at 6'3", he's a beast, but at the same time, if you try to bracket a receiver with him, that's just going to open up the deep corner to somebody else. Yeah. And we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to fly. We're going to do throw dudes. We're going to stack on him as much as possible. And so the last thing you want to do is put Watts out there and make himself a liability because he's too good of a player while at the same time not being at 100%, being hurt. Yeah, especially a lower body injury. We got too much speed for them to deal with that.
And Sooners Cowboys, I'm heard a Texas fan that lives in Tulsa say that he's friends with Gentry and said that he can't cover good route runners. I don't necessarily know if that's true, and I don't necessarily know if you'll see that in this game. The only time that I see that I've seen Worthy really run like real routes, and don't get me wrong, he's made some nasty moves. I'll give him that. His little in and outs and some of the things that Sark does with him to get him, the whole I'm about to make this slant and then boom, I bust to the outside. Beautiful plays. Yep. And Quinn throws that thing on a rope right to him. It's out of the reach of the defender. But my biggest thing is outside of those key plays, especially in the red zone, that's whenever you see a lot of it. And when they're in the red zone or they're in plus yardage plays where they're close to about, I would say they're in like the 35 going in, that's whenever you start really seeing some of those more technical routes, kind of see some of that route tree that you would want to see from Worthy. But for me, I haven't seen enough of that to actually say that, yeah, they have a lot of great route runners out there. Not to say that they can't. I'm just saying, to me, I mean, when you think about Worthy's running what? He's running orbit routes or he's running something close to the sideline. He's running orbits, comebacks. Occasionally he'll do kind of a zigzag, kind of a bench route. He'll do things like that, but they're trying to get him out there in space. They're trying to get him that yardage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah,
it's gonna be yeah. No, I mean you're right. Sark is gonna do a lot of masterful scheming, out there, right? He's really gonna make us think, and I appreciate that. And the good thing is that him and BV have seen each other. They understand each other. Sark has seen more BV than BV's seen Sark. And so at this point, we just got to see if Sark can execute on it. If he can actually execute on a Brent Venables defense. And the funny thing is, we ain't got a full defense. And so because of that, it's going to take us probably another year or two to get the full BV defense. And right now, these boys are playing – they're playing at the discipline that you want. I keep forgetting who I was talking to, but they mentioned this about the way that this defense is playing. And the big takeaway was they play like they're going to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
So they're more precise and more attention to detail than before from a lot of these players because they know they'll get snatched out of the game now because we got players we can snatch them out for. Peyton Bowen's knocking on doors. PJ Adebaware is knocking on doors. right? You got guys that are knocking and saying, "Hey, I'm coming through and I'm gonna take the job if you don't want it."
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, these guys are playing way more urgency. Kip Lewis, Kobe McKenzie, knocking on doors. And so because of that, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be. A lot of these players know that they got to put that work in if they want to keep their jobs, and I'm loving it. I'm loving that we're playing with urgency.
Well, maybe it's that, or maybe it's simply the fact that talent is really starting to shine through the discipline and through the scheme as well. Because I mean, as many times I've watched that Iowa State game this week, that interception to a third play of the game, that interception by Billy Bowman is absolutely ridiculous. If you go back to last year against O State, that interception is ridiculous. We had two players that ran. Oh, we had a cat blitzer, and then we had the linebacker. they both. I think it was maybe. I don't know. I think it was either two quarters or it was. No, I don't know if it was a cheater. But I know we had two guys blitzing from that side, completely let that guy open. He comes from the other side of the field, interception, and you're sitting there saying, "Hey, man, that's it." That's it. So you got to see a glimpse of it and all of that. Green with Envy says Watts backup is a speedy DB. Watts most likely won't play for scheme purpose anyways. Then he also goes on to say, he made another comment here talking about Worthy isn't even a primary receiver. Don't get it twisted. We all know Worthy is still your primary receiver.
No,
but
it's AD. It's AD Mitchell.
I'll say this right here. When they use AD Mitchell as a decoy to get these other guys open, then he'll be the primary. We all know who really is really truly supposed to be targeted on these plays. But AD Mitchell just came in and did what he needed to do, and it's what we all expected Nayor to do pre-injury. But at the same time, I mean, it kind of is what it is. It doesn't really matter to me. The biggest thing is simply this right here: stopping Sark's script. Stopping Sark's momentum, stopping those two things right there. I want to make him think just as much as I want to make Quinn think. Because second half adjustments against Wyoming, that's different. The only thing they can hang their hat on, and I'll give them that, is Bama. But at the same time, come on, man. Come on. It's them boys this weekend. Come on.
I mean, exactly. And I agree with Envy. You cracked me up. The 4-0 win. Oklahoma fans wouldn't shut up if they did it. I mean, we've got way more than that to talk about. I mean, last 10 games, Oklahoma's won 7 and lost 3. If you take last year out and the last 10 games from that, Oklahoma has won 7 and only lost 3. So it's not any different for us. We're consistent with beating up on Texas. Texas is going to win some games. We're not delirious to believe that we can just beat on Texas like we beat on Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
That's no different than the way Texas talks about Texas A&M. When you look at that rivalry, right? We know that this is a legitimate rivalry, and I think it was a graphic that went out earlier today that I thought was really, really interesting. Let me pull it. Give me just a second. Here he goes. Since 1955, right? 1955. The score, the record is 33, 33, and 3 between the two teams. So, yeah, there's respect on both sides. We just hate each other's guts, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we also know that it's stupid to think that we're just going to walk in and just either team's going to walk in and beat the crap out of the other one. Even when it looks like the opportunity is there. Neither will, because we've both seen it happen where it's, I mean, what was it? 2000, that game, Oklahoma's coming off a, 5-7 season, not very good, still trying to figure things out, similar to the way we were doing here. New coach, Bob Stoops, getting himself established in it, walked out there 163 to like 14. And we beat y'all with Quentin Griffin, who had 6 touchdowns in that game, and that dude didn't even run for 1,000 yards that season.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen things go either direction, so Sooner fans aren't naive enough to act like, oh, it ain't going to happen. Same thing with Texas fans. I mean, y'all can keep doing 49. Oh, I'm so happy you finally got something to cheer about.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't done nothing in forever.
Nah.
So we'll let y'all have it.
Hold on.
I embrace the 49 hate.
I'm about to drop it. Go ahead. Hold on. when y'all can say y'all got one of them, when y'all can actually go, then y'all can talk. We got
you won't get a peacekeeper on the other side. On the other show. This is supposed to be a family show. Just like on mine, this is a family affair. We're going to keep the language down. We're going to make it to where the kiddies can watch. But when we get over there to the Smack Talk show, I got ammunition. I've been loading up the chamber all week. I just don't want to use my ammunition until I'm ready to sit in front of these guys and really pull out the
No, I got you. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm being simple. I like to talk about how impressive this game is going to be in 5-0, first time since 2011. We know how that game went. And the fact that both teams look like they're on an upward trajectory. I'm going to put it to you like this. I am the opposite thought process than most Sooner fans when it comes to this. But I am looking forward to both Oklahoma and Texas walking into the SEC and dominating it. I would like for the SEC championship to be Oklahoma and Texas every year. I would have no problem with that. I don't mind playing Texas twice a year. And the reason is because I get tired of people trying to say that Oklahoma and Texas coming out the Big 12 ain't that good. Mm-hmm. Now, the good thing for us now is we're walking in with a coach that knows how to recruit defense, that knows how to coach defense, that does everything you see those other coaches do in the SEC, who has beaten SEC teams at their peak. We have that guy, and he's putting it all together for us. Yeah. And actually, we're not. This offense is actually better than the way that Riley's was producing. The difference is we just haven't had Caleb Williams yet, so don't be ready for that.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? But no, hey, Jason, Jay, I know you can't hear. You made a comment about the backdrop, the background, all the rest of that stuff. Jason, blessings, man. Appreciate you for hooking a brother up, man.
Oh, Jason put that together for you?
Yeah,
nice.
Jason said, hey, man, we got to get you right.
We got to upgrade your game, bro.
He said, we got to get you some drip. We got to get you some drip, Crow.
I love it.
With that being said, let's go ahead. We only got 7 minutes until the showdown comes on. Everybody look. Go ahead, like, subscribe, follow this channel, Horns Down Podcast, obviously, Chris with a K on Twitter. My guy Jay from Unfair Sports. Let's go ahead. Let's keep racking them in. Let's keep racking them up. If you didn't know, we will stream to our channels as well. But most likely, I know Steven gonna do something where he's gonna shut it down. He's gonna have it just coming to him. So Fanatic Perspective on Twitter, on YouTube. Link is in the bio right now of this video. It's in the whatever it is for this video. So go ahead and click that because we about to switch over there here in a second. But bottom line, Jay, who wins this game and why?
I'm gonna go ahead and run with the heart, man. I think Oklahoma wins this game. I think that we walk out there. I think we're a little bit more of a complete team in comparison, and we're also the team that people don't realize that we're a little bit better than expected. You know, I've gone back and watched some film. I've looked at some Texas stuff. I mulled over at the beginning of the week. I was like, 28-24. I think it could go either way. And that's just me being diplomatic on a podcast because for the most part, I still needed to evaluate what things look like. Now, as we're getting closer and closer to the game, I'm feeling more and more confident, man. There's a lot of holes in what Texas does. There's holes in what we do too, but there's a lot of things that we do that I can see as we can clean up, that's fixable. And there's some things with Texas that feels like it's just who they are. And because of that, I think we got it. I mean, we've seen Quinn he was eating it up against us. He did it great against Bama 2 times. He looked really good, came off injury. Then he went to Oklahoma State and did what? 19 for 49. 3 interceptions. Against Oklahoma State of all teams, right? Yeah. I think we can cause those same problems because I think our defensive line is way better than what it is before. And I think that BV is a much better schemer than Phil Steele. Or no, Kevin Steele.
Jason, I couldn't have said it any better. 35-17, the good guys roll in. The good guys roll in and they walk out with a win. They go ahead and set the nation on notice that, hey, Oklahoma ain't never left. We was down. Hey, like Prime said, hey, hey, get me now while you can, because I ain't gonna be down for forever. I'm just letting you know.
You're
But
gonna be down for forever.
yeah, man. Hey, I think this is a great matchup for us. I think this is a great showcase for us to go ahead and get the momentum that we need going towards the polls, headed towards the Big 12 championship game. In my mind, this is our toughest test that we've had thus far. Got it. Just as much as they have to keep us off schedule, we need to get them off schedule. Let's get 3 and outs. Let's get a string 3 and outs together, and let's string along some drives. I think that this is the game. Our run game. People are saying our run game has to be perfect. Dillon Gabriel has to play the game of his life. I saw Dillon Gabriel go out there and have the game of his life against Florida State. And one point, Stephen, that people haven't made about that game is that we didn't necessarily have Sawchuk. As good as Sawchuk and Barnes played in that game, they were ripping off a couple of 15, 20-yard runs, but it wasn't like they were just running down the sideline without anybody touching them. So what I'm saying about that is simply this right here. Our running game will be on time. We will be on schedule. Let's make something happen. I think this is a game where you see Drake Stoops get a lot of touches and be able and is able to do what he needs to do. On third down as possession receiver, I think we're moving the ball with him. I think Andrell Anthony can have a huge day. I think Farouk can have a huge day. But at the same time, them 2 dogs behind him, Jaden Gibson and that boy Nick Anderson, I think those are the 2 who are going to get loose. And I think Nick Anderson may have a hell of a day. I think he may have a hell of a day. Defensively, only thing I got to say is that let's not let them take advantage of our aggressiveness at times, especially on third down. I can see them running a lot of mesh concepts, different things like that, especially if JT Sanders isn't there. Make them pay for running all these little bubble screens and these little cute things that they want to run against you. Punish them. You do all of that, you walk out there with a victory, and you put the nation on notice. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are 3 minutes away from these bombshell over there at Fanatic Perspective. So again, click down, look and see. The link is over there for you guys to go over there to that channel right there. We'll stream from both of our channels if we're able to. But with that being said, this is another episode of the Horns Down Podcast. Like, subscribe, share, do all of those different things that you want to. And baby, we out.
You know, there's a lot of great OU podcasts, but there's only one